Hey,
Hey,
you look a little different today.
do I?
Yeah,
You look great.
you look super cool.
Thanks.
Like a Warhol. Is that? Oh, that's not us. It's art.
It's us.
Look at that.
But it's art.
It's us, but in art. If you can see these, if you're watching on YouTube or our Instagram, and if you're not following at Disrespectfully Pod, what are you doing? Our incredible listener, Julia, who's at jubu.baby on Instagram, made these one-of-a-kind prints for us and is just the coolest. And she dropped them off this morning.
I know. I'm obsessed with them.
We need
to people who are talented. I'm just like noticing all the details, like the little glitter. It's just like, I wish I could. I don't know. I don't even have like the thought process for this.
No, she was like trying to explain how she did it. And I was like, that was what was happening in my brain because I can't imagine it. But it was also so nice to meet her just because we love connecting with you guys. And she was so sweet and like made us both almost cry and was just amazing. So thank you, Julia. We are going to hang these in the studio.
Hell yeah, we are.
They're going to be a new part of the set. But I think that's it for right now.
I know. I could fuck up a paint by number. So
yeah, you could. I tried diamond painting. It didn't go well for me, but thanks, Julia.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Julia. That was so kind of you.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dayna Cathan.
Unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
Hi again.
anywho.
Hoo. We're both a little shaken up. We're all shaken up here because we had an earthquake last night
We did.
at 10:30 that woke us both up.
Mhm.
And it was one of those things where it's like when you're like it just hit like deep sleep and then you're jolted out of that sleep, whatever it was, like you're kind of questioning like the reality of the situation. Like I knew it was an earthquake. I felt it. I sat there and experienced it. But then because I was so tired and Nick like woke up and he was like, yeah, it's an earthquake. It's okay. And I'm like, why are you so calm?
Well, the thing is, it was, according to you, a 3.9.
Yeah.
But it was in Burbank, so it was close to us. So it felt bigger. So when it was happening for me, I'm just like I had fallen because I'm exhausted. I had my sister in town with her best friend, Lisa. So we watched the Oscars last night. We're going to get into all of that. But I could not wait I fell asleep at like 9, like right when we got home. So I was out. So then I'm just doing this and I'm like, okay, it's an earthquake. And then I sat up because it scared me. And I was like, Brittni, that earthquake. And Laszlo was at a 10, her ears were perked and she was like, what was that? And my sister gaslit me, just like she gaslights me into believing she has ever heard this podcast. She was like, that wasn't an earthquake. And then Lisa was sleeping in the living room and she didn't come in and wake us up because she was waiting for us to run out and be like, earthquake. And so in the morning, I was like, did you feel that? She was like, I was terrified. I was waiting for you guys to say something, but I thought I was imagining it. So it was a whole whodunit at my house.
I mean, I say this all the time about earthquakes, and what's so scary about them, I guess, is that you can't predict them, obviously. And they always happen in the middle of the night when I'm in bed, my most vulnerable state, usually not wearing any clothing. I'm just like laying there. Like I have no survival skills. I will just die naked in my bed.
Well, the thing is, I think I can recall one in my whole time living in LA in 7 years of it happening in the daylight. The earth, it plays in our face. It chooses to do it at nighttime when we're all sleeping. And it's like, for me, there's nothing over that can fall on me. So when I'm in bed, which is almost 100% of the time in the buff, I'm like, I do just stay there like a hot dog in the thing at 7-Eleven because I'm like rolling around. What am I going to do? Nothing can fall on me. So it makes sense to just to stay put. But the night before, I feel like I felt like the smallest little shake, but I was wondering if it was like a big truck near my building or something. And I feel like maybe now it was like
Are you
something.
predicting them
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, I think so. There's a 30%
My
chance.
breasts can tell the weather, can predict the weather. Yeah, so that. But no, I do remember there being an earthquake in the middle of the day and I was eating like a taco or something on my couch. And it started like shaking and it kept like shaking. And I was like, the walls were like cracking and I didn't know what to do. I just sat there and then I like put my food down. I get up, I walk to like the slide. I just started like touching things. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like when I'm fully awake, I still don't know what to do.
We also, when you're like walking and you trip and then you just do a little jog and then you go back to walking, that's kind of what we do in earthquakes. Like no one really, especially in a place where they happen so frequently, we should be more prepared than most. And we all still are just like, what
wiggling.
Do you do now?
We just wiggle. That's it.
Yeah. So anywho, we made it out, but I was frightened. It gives you that shot of adrenaline. Like no matter, like I was,
Well, yeah, then I couldn't fall back asleep for like 2 hours because I was like all heart racing and blood pumping. Anyway.
So did you wake up at 5 or did you fall asleep 2 hours later till then normal time?
Yeah, if I fell asleep till normal time.
Good. Yeah, I was quite tired from a big weekend of many, many activities and constantly being around people.
How was your weekend?
Weekend was fab. So my sister and Lisa got into town on Thursday. Her birthday was yesterday, which was the Oscars. And on Friday, I took them to Malibu. And we did.
How was that?
Is it Jeffrey's or Joffrey's?
I think it's Joffrey's.
Is it Joffrey's? Okay.
But how is Malibu doing?
So when we drove up through the canyon, it was pretty crazy because we haven't been there since the fires but they are in Seattle and it was a nice day and wanted to see the ocean. So I was like, okay, let's go. I mean, the restaurant's open. So everything around the restaurant was fine, but coming up through the canyon was really sad to see. Like all you could see all the fire damage. So that was wild. But the restaurant it has such a beautiful view. It's like a great place to take people if they're coming in from out of town. So we had a lovely lunch and then we went to a winery that my friend owns and they were having an event, I think, but were nice enough to let us just kind of hide in like a little area. But again, it's like a beautiful view of the canyons. Ooh. So we did lunch, we did that. And then my sister was wasted on the way home, played some early aughts hip hop. There was some T-Pain happening. Thought of you. She was living her best life. And then they went to dinner solo because me and Ariana went to that Oscars party.
Right.
So we went to the Women in Film event. And it was turns out, I think we told you, Betty Davis's house. It's like this beautiful, like covered in ivy with like really cool, maximalist in the way that I wish that I was that creative in terms of planning the space I live in. Like it was just so beautiful, but not boring at all. And it was such a cool event. There were, I think, 65 nominees there.
Wow.
Or maybe they were saying, I don't know, I was tipsy by this point, but they were saying that there was only 65 women in categories. I don't totally know, but they had the director of The Substance was there. I squealed when she came to speak. Cynthia Erivo was there, which was obviously cool to see her. And then honestly, just hearing from them and about how they've, forged their way forward and want to make more space for other women in film was really cool to see, and met a lot of other just like cool guests at the party. So that was really fun.
What an LA night.
It was a very LA night, and I don't care. I'm going to keep talking about this because it's the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. There was an article in Vogue about it, and they posted a photo of me and Ariana. They spelled my name Danya. Danya. So I will be now going as Danya Cathan.
I love it.
I don't care. I was like, you know what? At least it said something. They got the letters right. I think someone was maybe just having an off day, and I felt really excited about that.
I think it's cool.
It's really, I'm like, when else would I have ever been in Vogue? So it was really fun. And I found out about it last minute and got a dress, and it got there right in the nick of time. And I'm so glad.
I mean, you both looked hot fire. So
thank you. It was so fun. And then I took Brittni to my special birthday dinner place because that's what she wanted to do. And on Saturday nights, we had a little dinner, then our Oscars party.
Yeah, it's a full weekend.
Which we'll get into the Oscars, but Oscars / surprise B-Day party for my sister because I'm the best. But tell us about your weekend and then let's talk about the Oscars.
I had a cute weekend. Nick and I went down to San Diego just to get out of town, and we went and spent some time with his parents, who are so sweet and fun. I love like spending time with them. And so we had like a little lunch, and then Friday night we went to, you know what it is, and I think it's in South Park, a tiki bar called Mothership. And it's like, I guess, because they're tiki drinks, but the whole place is themed like you're on like a spaceship or in outer space. It feels like like Disneyland in there. Like all the details, like every like crevice and corner you look in has something, and the whole like ceiling is like stars. Even the bathroom was so weird and creepy. Like it was all like lit. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like sort of like slots almost, and it was like red illuminated, and then like the speaker was like spaceship pilots like talking over like their like little microphones. It kind of eerie, but the drinks were delicious. The vibes were cool as hell. I eat that shit. Tiki bars on my daddy list this week.
I thought it was actually Star Wars themed, but maybe I'm conflating it with that weird little bar in Disney in Star Wars
Olga's
land.
Whatever it is.
It reminds, if you've been to that bar in Disney, it's very similar feeling to that.
Very similar, yeah. But it's so cool. It's just like, it's so like unassuming from outside. You wouldn't even know what you're walking into, and then you're just in it. It's great. But yeah, then Saturday we had lunch again with his mom, and then we had dinner at this really amazing Mexican restaurant, but it was like Gothic vibes at the Lafayette Hotel. It's called Quixote, if you know, you know. But like beautiful stained glass. I mean, they definitely dumped a lot of money into like these renovations in the whole hotel, especially these restaurants. But yeah, we met up with Kristen and Mikey and we just like had a cute little dinner with them. I loved it. And then drove back yesterday, went to the Oscars party. So yeah, different vibes, but still great weekend. It's yours.
Family friendly,
Very
oriented.
family oriented. Mm-hmm.
I would say you're leaving out one major part of your weekend, which is the Nick's photo.
Of his senior portrait.
Of his senior picture.
Oh my God.
I think that you should get permission for him to share that with everyone because everyone should see it. It's pretty good.
love it. I just love it. Like, you know, his parents are still like, so not still, but like you're still like proud of him and like above their mantle, on the fireplace. Is it above the mantle or is it at the mantle? Above the fireplace, whatever. Is his senior photo. And I think he looks so cute. I love it so much.
It's so cute, but it's shot. I'm like, that's not it. It's
I'm
like no
why do you
tattoos,
look like you're 40?
Glasses, mustache, brown hair.
Yeah. Yeah, the dark hair, the glasses, the pensive stare that he's got going on. And then his like little mustache. I don't know what to call it. It looks like just like a shadow.
Yeah, it was like a 3 o'clock mustache. Like it wasn't quite there, but he tried.
It's my favorite thing. When time we went down there, we stayed at his parents. We slept on like their pull-out couch downstairs all night long. His senior photo was just watching over us. I was like, this is romantic, but I love it.
That made for you showed us all. So we all got a kick out of it. We loved it.
Yeah, sorry,
so
Nick.
I hope Nick's okay with that.
But I needed that photo for posterity.
Absolutely. I'm like, you should put it on a t-shirt. Maybe I will for you for your birthday or something. Oh, I'm skipping over one very special thing that happened. I know that this doesn't really sound like me, so it sounds like a lie, but it's not. Do you know what I've been loving lately? Sipping on a nice, mild THC drink.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
And those gummies, I've been eating them every night. Been helping with sleep.
Oh, good.
Never thought that it would happen, but Soul, yeah, it's changed my life.
Good news for you and everyone else that this podcast is sponsored by Soul.
Yeah, it is.
Soul's new out-of-office beverages are perfectly microdosed with hemp-derived THC and CBD to give any situation that vacation vibe.
Yeah, and the thing about a dose is I want it micro. So they've done the legwork for me. It's not breaking news at all, but the world is pretty terrible and miserable, I'd say. But when I'm drinking Soul's new out-of-office THC beverage in raspberry lemonade, I feel calm, at peace, dare I say, happy. It sparks joy. It's kind of huge.
That is huge. And know what else is huge? Legality.
It sure is.
And did you know that hemp-derived THC products are federally legal? Because of the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp-derived THC is now legal and accessible nationwide. I can't believe I didn't know you could just buy THC products online like this.
Yeah, this isn't like a Breaking Bad situation. You're good to go. This is what the internet was made for. The out-of-office beverages not only come into mouth-watering flavors like raspberry lemonade and cucumber melon lime, they also offer 2 doses, which I think is key. 2.5 milligram THC and 5 milligram THC. Feel the freedom to choose with 6, 12, or 24 packs so you can drink your THC in the way that you like.
Out-of-office beverages give you that warm, fuzzy, euphoric microdose feeling without sending you to the moon. You can crack one open after a hard day at work, wind down with your favorite TV show, or share a 6-pack with friends at your next hangout, whatever floats your boat.
Soul was founded 5 years ago by a brother and sister duo, Mike and Angie Lee. Mike is a former world-ranked professional boxer, and Angie is an author and professional speaker who had the desire to create natural alternatives to medication that tackle problems they themselves deal with, like sleeplessness, anxiety, focus, and pain.
And that's not all Soul's got. Whether you're looking for a sleep aid, enhanced focus, or pain relief, Soul has your wellness needs covered. Plus, all of Soul's products are grown right here in the USA, organically farmed, and gluten-free.
So if you want to feel your best, head to getsoul.com and use code disrespectfully for 30% off your order. That's 30% off your order using code disrespectfully. One last time for the cheap seats in the back, getsoul.com and code disrespectfully for 30% off.
Hey, Dayna.
Hey.
Okay, do you remember that Jason Derulo song, Talk Dirty to Me?
Jason Derulo. Of course, Katie. How he's been around the world but don't speak the language.
Yeah, that's the line exactly. I can't relate to it anymore.
Is it because Rosetta Stone?
It's like you're reading my mind. Yes, of course it is because of Rosetta Stone. It's the leading language learning program available on desktop and mobile and designed to fully immerse you into your chosen language for a more natural and effective learning experience.
And with 30 years of experience, millions of users, and 25 languages offered, Rosetta Stone is the go-to language learning solution. We're speaking French, Italian, Spanish, German, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Dutch, and more.
And more.
More.
Jason Derulo would have changed his tune with that knowledge.
No, my thoughts exactly.
We haven't got to the best part yet. Rosetta Stone naturally immerses you in your new language, naturally helping you think and communicate with confidence. With no English translations, you truly learn to speak, listen, and think in your chosen language. And it's designed for long-term retention, so you will learn and it'll stick with you.
Don't wait. Unlock your language learning potential now. Disrespectfully listeners can grab Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off.
That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for life. Visit rosettastone.com/disrespectfully to get started and claim your 50% off today. Don't miss out. Go to rosettastone.com/disrespectfully and start learning today.
I didn't know until like 2 weeks ago. There's this dress of this photo of my mom that I'm obsessed with. That is my favorite photo of her. And it was from this very special night when she had first met my dad or when they were like first dating. And I didn't know we had that dress. Like I had never seen it before. And then the other day she was talking about it. We were FaceTiming and she was like, well, no, I kind of want to get that dress altered. And we kind of were because Brittni's really tall. And I was like, wait, you have that dress? And she put it on and she was like, I'll bring it with me to LA so you can try it on. And I got to try on my mom's dress.
And
it was
keep it.
Well, I mean, it's ours, but
Yeah.
she left it here. She was like, I'm going to leave it with you. And honestly, in the absence of her ring, it felt very special just to have that. And it was like, I seriously don't know if I want to get married. And if I did, it would be at a courthouse. But I was like, I put it on and I was like, if I ever got married, I would want to wear this.
I love it's such a beautiful dress.
And by the way, it's from Victoria's Secret.
Oh.
From the 80s. Like someone asked, a couple people were like, is that from Victoria's Secret? Like it's just this beautiful silk, light pink with like butterflies on it, but the bottom is this flowy like chiffon material. I don't know what that material is called, but yeah, I posted a photo of me in it on my Instagram, but it felt really special just to wear. And Monica had done my makeup for the event because I obviously tried it on when I looked hot right before the Women in Film event. And I like wanted to smell it, but I had makeup on and I still like want to go home and like smell it. So that was very special. And shout out to my sister for doing that. But then so her birthday was on Oscars and the Oscars in my household growing up were a really big deal. Were they for you guys?
Oh yeah, I think we'd all go to my grandma's and fill out like the, your guesses for it. And there'd be like popcorn. Like, yeah, it was definitely like a thing growing up that like our family did all together.
And my mom, one of the special things I think I've talked about before, like how she used to take us out of school to see movies. Like movies have always been a really fundamental part of our lives. So my mom used to get dressed and to sit at home with just us to like in a nice dress to watch the Oscars. And so Brittni brought down like a gown she wanted to just wear. She's like, that's what mom would want to like take some birthday photos. And then we changed into jammies. But Fleur loves the Oscars in the same way. And so she had a little Oscars party.
Red carpet, loves an award show. That's why when I went to the Emmys this last year, I brought her as my date. Because I was like, I just don't know anyone that was going to love this more than you and like just want to be there. So yeah.
Totally. So it was Oscars night and we have so much to discuss about it. So there were some high highs and some low lows.
I mean,
what do you want to start with?
Let's start. Well, should we do Daddy List before we do this?
Have I ever done this podcast before? Yes, I keep forgetting.
I know. Let's just because I feel like this is gonna eat up some
It's
time,
a freight train. There's no stopping it. Yeah, I love that we with Wes did Daddy and Basement the last 2 seconds of the episode because we forgot.
Because once we get a certain point into it, it's like, well,
you start.
Okay,
you brought it up.
My Daddy List, like I mentioned, are tiki bars. I just am so happy that they exist and that like just the consistency in which they exist on. Like I feel like North Hollywood, Burbank, we have a lot of tiki bars out here, but there's something like speakeasy about it. I just love like being in a themed place where you're just completely immersed in like a vibe and an environment, and then you're drinking like cocktails that are just right on theme. Like I love a Mai Tai or a painkiller or anything that's going to give me a wicked hangover. I just love them. And then especially this last one I went to, which was like kind of a twist on a tiki. And I think I didn't know that there's like there's like a community. There's like a because I sent Wes pictures obviously from that place, and he's like, oh yeah, there's like a tiki convention that happens in San Diego. I'll have to go check that out. I'm like, people that like build tiki bars in their homes. Like, I feel like that's gonna be me one day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you do really love a tiki.
And then okay, my other thing on my daddy list, which I can't believe I haven't put it on here before, but absolutely deserves to be on every single week, is my favorite restaurant in LA. I go to it every week.
Which is?
Casa Vega.
Oh.
Casa Vega is so daddy. I love it there. I just feel like I'm at home. I feel like it's just become an extension of my living room, basically. But I just love getting some margs, some chips and salsa. Like, I love the food. Again, I love the ambiance, especially during Christmas, because it just is so like flammable in there to the point where all their like tinseled foil decorations. But God, I just love it there.
I love it there
so
too.
Daddy.
Also,
and everyone that works there too. Like, now I feel like they all know me. I feel like they're like my friends. But yeah,
the places like that also, I'd extend that out to.
Like, yeah, such a vibe.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like the Christmas lights and the red booths and the dim lighting and the welcoming staff and the food that's. It's not Michelin star, but it's delicious in a different way.
That would be my death row meal. Would just be a Mexican like food restaurant like that, like where it's just I want just a basket of chips, a bowl of salsa, some nachos, maybe some fajitas, sizzling fajitas. I mean, I'm never happier than I am sitting in a Mexican restaurant drinking margs.
Yep.
Anyway, who's on your daddy
list?
Back
that up. One of which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about it after the Oscars. FleurFest.
Oh yeah,
is going to be on my daddy list. I know it's on yours too because we had such a great time, which was Fleur's. It was a special big birthday. I'm not going to say the number because she's apparently sensitive about it, but it was Fleur's 40th birthday and it was very exciting. So we'll get into that. And then Steve Carell. Lately. Oh my God. The Benjamin Button happening on him. I'm like, he is pretty stark white now with the hair like gray and white. It's not even salt and pepper really anymore. It's like white and gray. And he looks like, I never really wanted to blow Michael Scott, but
no,
Steve Carell right now in real life, I'm like, I'm really happy that you are in a happy marriage, but should that ever change, I am here.
When I sent that picture into our disrespectfully group chat, you're like, that's not Michael Scott. That's Michael Hot.
That's Michael Hot. So yeah, he's just looking so damn good. And at the Oscars last night, there were so many men and women that are both going to be daddyless because people are just, they're getting help, but I don't care. I want to get the help they're getting because they look so good. But should we Oscar it up? Should we talk about all the moments?
Yeah. I mean, I think we can start off by saying Conan, such an epic choice as a host. I think he's so funny. I love watching his show in general, but like he's just the levity he brought to it, because I think Oscars can be slightly more,
a little more buttoned up. It's the less like, it's the serious.
But we don't need that right now.
Right.
We need as much fun and humor as we can possibly get. And I think he did so well. I love that, like, the involvement of that everyone got in on it. It wasn't just like him when he was doing his bits, like Ben Stiller when he came out to do the award for production design.
So funny.
The riser like wouldn't come up, so he was just like from his like shoulders up,
and it kept moving him like up and down,
which was just funny because leading into the whole category itself too was just really funny. But
he's daddy, so he's an example. He looks so good.
He looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. The fashions, I think it was a pretty solid lineup that people really brought it last night. There was a lot of bows and a lot of buns, which I wasn't totally a fan of.
I'm not a big bow person, really, in any scenario. It's not for me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the bow at the Empire waist situation, giving Bridgerton vibes with the bun. I'm just like, what? I just didn't predict that. I loved the sort of like mirror ball disco dress situation that was happening.
Demi Moore was my best dress of the night.
I loved Halle Berry. She looked incredible. Do you know that she's 58?
Yeah, we were looking it up because we were in shock. I was like, she looks the same as she did the year she won her.
Demi's 62. Like, what?
Well,
how?
As we know, the end of this month, Dr. Dugar, my plastic surgeon's coming by the Disrespectfully studio. We're going to have a chat and we're going to ask him about all of this because we want the inside scoop. But yeah, they look so good. Big mirror ball. God, who else? Mindy Kaling also looked, I loved hers, beautiful with the silver. Lupita looked so she was wearing the white with the.
I loved it.
I feel like it was probably Chanel. I don't know, but she just looked so good, and I loved her hair, and like she had pearls and the different accents and whatnot.
She was one person that kind of nailed like a little bit of like a bow with the bun because it felt modern. It felt, today. It didn't feel like this sort of antiquated sort of vibe happening, but I loved it. And who black feather bow thing? Who was that?
Oh, Enoch,
yes.
Enoch.
Oh, I just sickening.
So good.
So good. The color on her looked perfect. I loved the dramatic boa.
The boa was so good.
I loved it. No notes.
Coleman looked.
Oh yeah, he always looks great,
I know.
though.
He's always one of the ones I'm looking out for because he just does like men. I think it's really easy for them to just do the whole like suit and tie and whatever, but he always makes it his own. So he looked amazing. Jeff Goldblum
always looks so dapper.
We always look so dapper. Loved the boutonniere on his lapel. It was like so cool and obviously on theme. Ariana Grande, she was one of my favorites of the night too. The Schiaparelli like light pink with whatever material it was. It was very cool looking.
I love that her. Okay, I mean this could be debatable, but her and Cynthia Erivo are both like really sticking in their sort of Wicked theme, and I feel like it's all. Like they're going to continue that until the next one comes out, I think. And I think that's smart. I think it's smart to like be public facing still as these really wonderful characters that they brought to life. I'm here for it. I thought Cynthia looked cool as fuck. I loved it.
It's basically another week because it's the end of the year already. So luckily Wicked will be out in November. But yeah, Cynthia looked really cool. I hope we're not missing anyone. Like Margaret Qualley looked great too. Both her and Demi and Selena. Selena looked so good. She looked very timeless.
Oh yeah, she just had that like old Hollywood, like just the silhouette of that dress, the hair. She looked perfect. I loved it.
I'm so jealous. I mean, you're in this category though of people who can have really short hair and look really good with it. That's such a specific thing, and like that cut on her, I love. Like I hope she sticks with the short hair. It looks great.
Well, when we were talking about Emma Stone with her pixie cut, like you got to really have the bone structure to carry that off. But she looked amazing.
Well, another daddy moment that I know you'll be obsessed with, Adam Sandler. That
oh
was
my
so
God.
Great. That was so great.
See, I liked how the bits also carried their weight into the audience, and then he also did the throwback to the Golden Globes with the Chalamet. He's so funny.
He's so funny. The opening made us all cry. It's just a love letter to LA, and we immediately knew what it was.
And then right into Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Ariana and Cynthia's opener with Somewhere Over the Rainbow and then into Wicked. And I love that Ariana kind of stepped away and let her have her moment for the note. And I had full body chills.
Oh, I have body chills right now thinking about it because I'm thinking about that one shot they got of Ariana watching her sing, and she just looks so just how we all looked watching it.
No, we were like, it was just so enamored. It was the perfect. One of the best openings of any Oscars I can recall. Like really will stay with me.
Oh yeah.
It was just so great. Should we talk about what wasn't great?
Yeah, Adrien Brody.
I have some facts for you. Lisa this morning while they were packing, getting ready to go, looked up specifics. So I have some specific stats for you. Adrien Brody's acceptance speech was the longest in Oscar history, clocking in at 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, about 5 minutes too long.
So at the 3 minute and 30 mark is where he got the music. A traditional Oscar speech is supposed to be 45 seconds. So I know it's different, but like with stand-up comedy, you get lit at 1 minute or whatever, and it's telling you have 1 minute left, so wrap it up. And the second you get the blinking light, get off the stage. And obviously it's an award show, but I think for more important categories, there's a little more leeway. I understand that. But
that's excessive.
It was so rude and tone deaf, in my opinion. I was so like grossed out by it.
I feel like it was very self-serving because, yes, have your moment. But like he said, I've done this before. This isn't my first rodeo. Yes. Okay. So then keep it cute. It's just so when things go on too long, it just, they cross into that, like, this isn't even good. I was talking to Dick and I was just like, I don't know if it was a cadence in which he was speaking, but the way he was like fragmenting his like sentences, it was really hard to follow. I was like, what is this man talking about? Like he was sort of dancing around a certain thing and then would like land that plane, then try to get another one off the ground. It was excruciating.
Also, to use the word humble to start by being like, I humbly accept this. And then he was like, I'll be brief. I was actually discussing this. So obviously you guys are not Adrien Brody's, but when people are sending in their dub DDs and hometown heroes, it's always the people that like keep it brief that at the end are like, I'm sorry this was so long. And then the people who are like, I'll try and keep this brief, but then it's like not brief.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir, why did you even say the word brief? That was such a weird play on his part. And I understand, yeah, it's an Oscar and whatever, but I think the whole first 2 minutes of his speech about the actor's arc in terms of Hollywood and how it can be glamorous, it can be taken away, could have been just that in one sentence. I'm humbly honored to be here again. I had my moment and thought that it would have longevity. And after years of uncertainty about what my career would be, I'm so honored to be here again.
You rewrite it.
I just did it. I'm like, what do you, and also, are you an
Because
actor?
he was also like not really like getting to the point of that. I was like, is he talking about himself or is this like an over like just blanket sort of statement? Because I'm like, I think he was talking about himself, about him thinking that maybe his career was over.
Well, and
which is like, no, what you want to put into your speech. Talk about the performance you did.
Well, here's an example. Brendan Fraser, when he won for The Whale, after a similar thing happened to him, his speech was quick and beautiful and spoke to that of like, I'm so grateful to be here. And he did keep doing like lots of ums and lots of pauses and then saying that he was going to get to it and then just didn't get to it. And yeah, we know in this community, the coven, land the plane. I'm like, sir, do you not have a little person in your head telling you to land the plane?
We kept looking at each other like, what the fuck?
And then I just like kept thinking it was gonna be over. And then after you shush the music, which sometimes does happen, but people usually are quick, like 20 seconds, like, I'm so sorry, please, please, please let me just say this, mom, dad, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Lisa this morning sent us a TikTok of a teacher who teaches public speaking. And he was like, that is the worst acceptance speech in Oscars history. This is why. It was very ego driven. It wasn't what he thought it was.
That was my biggest issue, that it felt very ego driven. And I get it. Like, you want that moment, soak it up. But like, again, and I felt like the way they were cutting people's mics as well. It was just like,
well, I haven't seen The Brutalist yet, but I feel like I have now.
Because that was brutally long, and as is the movie.
I'm like, you guys, the headlines write themselves. I'm like, the brutalest Oscar speech we ever heard. I'm like, that's coming this morning. I don't know.
We all could have used an intermission for that speech.
It just really took away from this achievement for him. And I other than that, like, I love him as an actor. And I also think he's really hot, but love a man with a strong nose. But I just felt I had the ick about it when I walked away. I was like, this was not it for me. And fun fact, his girlfriend is Harvey Weinstein's ex-wife.
I know, which I thought was rich when he brought up the point that when he was thanking her and he's like, and you've really brought me back to my values and things like that. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, I know that she shouldn't be held accountable or responsible for what Harvey Weinstein did, but she did stay married up to him until the bitter end.
Okay, that's what we were discussing this morning. Were they married? I think so.
I think they were married, but like, yes, it took until like he was getting like absolutely beat down and pressed for her to like leave him.
Well, and who knows what she was facing behind closed. We also discussing that. We're like,
yeah, no, and I don't. But I just found it was interesting.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's in general. I was just like, oh, I didn't know that. And also, she's like so stunning.
Oh
like,
yeah,
wow, beautiful. But yeah, that was. I wonder, how do you think he's feeling about it this morning? Do you think he's like, that was great?
I feel like, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's had a conversation with his publicist and they're like, listen, we just don't mention it. We don't bring it up and people move on and forget about it. That's where he's at. I'm sure he's feeling like a little bit like, but trying to convince himself it was fine.
I think so too.
I don't know.
I was really, really happy to see Honora win and Mikey Madison, who, by the way, I mean, we reach out to all kinds of people trying to get on the pod. I'm sure a lot of them, some of them will be like, cool that someone like, please. But we reached out to her a long time ago, like after we saw Nora, and then the second she won the Oscar, I said, and I will never meet her. Okay, great. But really, really happy, really happy for her. The movie, it deserved it to me. I was like, loved it.
But I didn't expect it because, yeah, like they said, this was a true independent film. I don't know if you've seen any of other Sean Baker movies like Tangerine or like, but he really tells beautiful stories with his films. And so, and the fact that they made it for $6 million, I mean, I feel like that is such a great historic moment on these nights when a movie like that wins, a movie that really is deserving wins big.
And the way that they're saying, you know, tell the stories you love. That one gal who worked on the film, when they came to accept it, she's like, don't tell the stories you think you should, because it's usually the more hoity-toity films that win serious accolades like that. But it's like, no, that was a really interesting story that told, you know, something so heartbreaking and beautiful and moving, but is something that they believed in. And it was just cool to see. And thanking the sex workers that they worked with on the
Yeah.
project. I thought that was incredible. Sean Baker's speech was a great example. When he won Best Director, his whole speech was specifically about keeping movie theaters alive, especially independent theaters, and how the pandemic changed that. And it is such an important part of our culture. And it's like, parents, take your kids to see movies so you can raise the next generation of movie lovers and filmmakers. I was like, it's so true. So like Adrien Brody, that's what he thought he was doing, unfortunately. But Sean Baker did what Adrien thought was going on.
100%. How did you feel about the musical performances? Okay, we talked about Cynthia and Ariana.
Okay,
but like,
I
how
mean,
did you feel about was it just me? Did I miss something with like the whole James Bond thing?
No,
I'm like,
I didn't get it.
There hasn't been a Bond movie in years. Like, why is there this whole music?
Because Amazon bought the rights to the Bond franchise.
And
okay,
but no, I just like, listen, cool.
yeah,
like,
we're not being sassy with you. That's more of sassy with Bezos. What? So then Bezos bought the Oscars. Don't even get me. You guys, I'm at a 2 right now. Let's not get me started. But I didn't understand it. I think it was really long. Margaret Qualley looked so beautiful again. But like Doja Cat, I think that dress was sickening that she sang the song in. But I wasn't like, maybe it's just because I said I've never seen a Bond movie, so maybe I just like don't get it. But I thought it was really long for what it is, and also if we're just celebrating that it's on Prime, like I don't know, 10 Things I Hate About You's on Prime. Can we do something? I'd rather see that personally. But what did you think of it?
Just the whole time I was like, okay, cool, but why?
Yeah,
like are they gonna announce like the new Bond?
Yeah,
are they gonna give a preview for the like a little tape? I don't know. I was like, what the fuck is happening? the whole time?
Yeah.
Like Margot Qualley, great. Lisa, you look great too. Doja, hot fire in that dress. But like, I just was really confused the whole time.
Kieran Culkin's speech, he's just so cute and funny. And every time he's just such a wild card. I can't wait to see what comes out of his kooky little brain. I
know. Well, that's what I mean. If you're going to tell a story, if you're going to take up time, waste time, at least make it something cute and from the heart and personal and like this. I don't know, endear us a little bit more.
Here's a question I have for you. Was asking Brittni and Lisa this morning. In all of Kieran's speeches, mostly the things he's won for Succession over the past few years, I don't feel like he's ever mentioned Macaulay.
No.
Do you feel like there's a rift there? Or is that known? Or is it maybe just like hasn't happened and he means family? And
I don't think there's any kind of rift. I just think he wants to be, separate from that. Like I think it'd be a little bit like, because there's more than one child.
No, I just more as a sibling. Like for instance, Zoe Saldana, who by the way, I cried her speech when she talked about her sisters. Obviously my sister was there and she was like, everything good and outrageous, and started bawling, talking about her sisters. I was like, came unglued. So that's more so what I mean. Just like family, not being like, hey, you were the kid from Home Alone and now I'm here at the Oscar. Like, I was just wondering if there was an issue.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I think they get along, and I just think he wants it just to be about himself, which is fine.
Yeah. Okay.
He's gone on to do well. I don't think he's necessarily riding his brother's coattails these days.
No. He's very much his own thing.
I don't know. To tell you, it has not crossed my mind. So
okay,
that he doesn't mention him.
Here's one more thing I want to talk about in terms of Oscars. Then we can move on. This might be polarizing, but we talked about it a little bit, and people had different takes yesterday. I thought it was a little bit of a snub and uncouth that they did not mention Michelle Trachtenberg in the In Memoriam.
Yeah, and I were like, well, is it because she's like not been I don't know. I thought it was the impact culturally, pop culture, and just and socially that it had, that it to just not mention it feels like a slight.
Well, and yes, she's probably mostly been in television, but she has been in movies, and she is
Harriet the Spy. Hello.
I don't know. It just, and also obviously it's very sad that she passed and so young. So, and also when like a young, well-known actress passes away, I thought it was weird. Did you think it was weird that they didn't include her?
I thought it was very weird because they include literally anyone and everyone who was involved. Like I said, from editing to makeup to production design to actor, so yeah, she was in film. She was an actress. She was, spent her whole life doing that. It's just weird.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
I'm glad you feel the same way too.
We'll find out if that's a hot take or not, but I feel like it was just odd.
Okay. Well, on to other big, giant, biggest night in Hollywood events. Let's talk about FleurFest.
Yeah. So not last time, but yeah, the last time we were in here, I think we were mentioning how it was happening that night.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the best parties. First of all, I love a house party, but then when a house party becomes elevated with like
A grown-up house party.
yeah, with, you know, decor and entertainment and music, I mean, it just makes it even better.
Bartender, catering, all of the
Mhm.
things that I love about the world
Yeah.
in one place.
So Fleur wanted to have a like festival themed sort of party for her big birthday, something
Mhm.
like that. And I remember when she was first talking about this, like, yeah, like I'll have a tattooist there. Is it tattoo artist?
Tattoo
Tattooist?
artist? Maybe.
Tattoo artist, whatever. You know, some food. And then she had this idea where she wanted to have like an epic band, you know, combined with all of like our friends, her friends that are in music. Obviously, she knows a lot of musicians. And this was like something that she just kept talking about. And for a while, we would like kind of joke about like who she would want to have in it. But the fact and how it all came together is so cool. Like I'm obsessed. The band was called the Floors.
Mm-hmm. Which is so cute.
Yeah.
Go to the doors. What is that?
The Floors. I call it the Floors. So she had Wes play guitar for some songs. She had Nick play some guitar for some songs. Caleb, obviously. Caleb sang. Nick sang. Ariana
Mm-hmm.
sang. But they like really did the damn thing. It was so cool.
I too love a house party for all those reasons, but then it's these incredible, famous musicians that all came together and did different pieces of it. It was such a fun set, and she obviously curated what they were going to be singing, and it was just things that we all loved and was such a good time. Shame on me for not knowing his name, but the drummer was amazing. He
His
drums
name's Tosh.
Tosh. He drums for Gaga, like all these huge people, and he was so good. And so like I love when a drummer, people are like, oh, it's a guy in the back, but they can sometimes be the vibe, and you know, they're just like so into it. So
They're the backbone. What are you talking about?
they're the backbone. And yeah, we had that was my favorite part of the night by far. It was so fun.
I had this idea when we were on the cruise. I was just like, I want to like surprise her with like another element, because I helped her get like some decorations for the party, because like she was doing this all herself. I was just like, let me take something off your plate. Like I want you to be able to just enjoy your time and not be like stressed with having to like plan all these things, even though she loves it. But I was just like, it's your birthday. You can do that for any other party. But because it was the festival vibe, I was like, we should have like wristbands and then we were like, or laminates like they do for tours and things like that. So I asked Caleb's brother Luke, because he did all like the graphics and design for all of her like flyers and everything that she had there, to send me. And so he helped us come up with the artwork for the laminates. And then I got to surprise her with those. And they were such a cute touch for everyone to like wear while they were there. I loved it.
Well, and her FleurFest t-shirts too.
Oh, and she had t-shirts.
I was in my dress for about an hour and a half tops. And then I was like, we brought jammies. And so it was like another great thing about house parties is that. So you can be like comfortable. Yeah, they had a little like taco stand thing.
They had photo booth, photographer.
Yeah, it just was everything you want. And those balloons are still there, by the way. Your decorations. Actually, that's one thing we missed about the Oscars is we did how do we describe the type of glam bot we did? Just our true selves. We did a glam bot for Oscars yesterday. It's on my TikTok. I think I posted on Instagram too. But of everyone who was watching the Oscars yesterday, and it was so funny the way it came out, and we loved it.
Everyone's like in their socks and their sweatpants.
Yeah, I'm obviously vaping. Katie's slipping things off. Like it's just like that kind of vibe. But go watch it. It's really funny. But yeah, the balloons that were in that were from FleurFest. So I don't know how long they'll be there, but their house is just, it's summer club. It's a special place. We love being there.
It's our headquarters.
That's headquarters. So yeah, happy birthday, Fleur. One of our most loyal listeners.
I know.
Sorry, I told people you were 40, even though you put it on the photo booth thing and it was unavoidable. Love you.
I know. She just didn't like the 40, the 40. She didn't have a problem putting her birth date though.
Oh, we need to say also the most important thing about FleurFest is how hot she looked. Truly, she wore the most beautiful, what was it? It was it Mugler?
It was Mugler, yeah.
She wore the most beautiful, sickening dress. 40 who? She looks 30. She looked so good. And it was awesome.
Body.
Speaking of bodies, should we talk about body inspection that we've
just done recently? Yes. Okay. It like ruined my week last week because I was dreading it so much. So if you're not familiar, we did this thing called Prenuvo where you like go late, you basically get an MRI and it like scans your whole body for just everything, like just any kind of ailment, any kind of anything that could possibly be going on. It's going to find it.
Well, and they don't use radiation. So I don't even totally know how it works because with MRIs, the thing
magnetic
is it's
field. I forget.
Google it, Prenuvo.
Yeah.
But Yeah, they don't use radiation, so you could honestly get them as much as you want. But yeah, it's basically does from your head to your toes, and the difference, instead of, you know, you going through insurance, you do pay out of pocket, but it's gives you a full, clear, like global look at what is going on with your body.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, I've known for, people that have done it, and they talk about like how they've gotten more insight to like what's going on in their body. Also, like people have found, you know, cancer.
Maria Menounos found stage 1 pancreatic cancer with it, which is, and it's like that in breast cancer, if it's early stages, you have a much better likelihood of outcome. And like that's Megan is how I learned about this, was our friend Megan did it, and it was like, it was amazing.
So I mean, I always say like, I mean, I always go to like my annual exams. I have those every year, you know, just because I want to stay on top of my health. And I, you know, we are getting to that age where shit can go wrong, but I just, you know, it still doesn't mean I don't dread it. Like I was just like, what am I going to do? I got 6 months. I kept joking to Nick. I was like, well, our Hawaii trip's going to turn into a Make-A-Wish. He's like, don't say that. I'm like, I'm not serious, but I'm just like, I will obviously, if there's anything going on, I want to know, but like, it just doesn't mean I'm not like dreading it. And the process itself, it can be like a little nerve wracking because you are in this like tube, sort of not strapped down, but like you're in there for 50 minutes and it's loud. And, you know, if you've ever had an MRA, you know how like, just not fun those are. I got a little bit of a headache. That's my only experience. The experience itself was so easy, seamless. All of the medical history that you fill out, everything before you go in, and then once you're in there, like you change into your little scrub outfit, and then you just go lay down. You watch a little Netflix.
What'd you watch?
I didn't know what to watch, so I was like, I'll watch Gilmore Girls because you told me you watched Gilmore Girls. I'm like, I need something soothing. I need something that's peaceful.
The whole staff was so nice and incredible through the whole process. I thought it was interesting. You go through this thing first because they have to metal detect you to make sure you don't have anything in. And I thought it was like TSA, which was funny. Anyway, so I was in the middle of a Gilmore Girls rewatch, and the gal who was helping me was like, "Oh, I love Gilmore Girls too." So my hardest part, you can get sedation. Because I'm very claustrophobic. So the tube, it's bigger than a traditional MRI, but they like sandbag your legs together, and then they put this plastic thing over you. But there's obviously a hole for your face. And then you wear glasses, which is how you see the TV while you're watching whatever.
It was like a mirror, yeah.
So I was fine until they put the thing on top of me. And I was like, okay, just make sure the little button is in my hand. Because I thought,
oh yeah, they give you like a little squeeze thing if you need help or
if you need to get out, like an emergency or whatever.
It felt kind of like a weighted blanket. Like if anything, that was more calming to me than just sort of being just open in there. Like I felt like just having that like bits on top of me like helped just like keep me still and calm.
So it did after the fact, but for me, that's just how I am. It took me a few seconds and I then it like slid me back and I was like, and then within 3 minutes I just breathed and I was like, you're fine. The hardest part for me was not laughing during Gilmore Girls because it was one of their funnier episodes. And I was like, they're like, stay very still, do your breath holds. And I'm like, at Richard Gilmore. But yeah, I got my results back. You haven't gotten yours back yet, right?
Can I say one more thing about the process? I like, because for me, I don't want to be watching a clock, but I do like knowing how far along I am in the process. And they checked in with you, made sure you're okay. Then they about halfway through, they're like, all right, you got about 20 minutes left. And then when there was like 5 minutes left, they checked in with me. So I kind of liked knowing like, I mean, obviously you can gauge it with the episode you're watching, but I don't know how. I'm not keeping track. I'm not counting in my head how many minutes have gone by. But anyway, no, you got your results back. I haven't got mine yet.
No, they do. They have it down to a science. They're so good. Ariana's going next week too. So I'm excited to hear how hers goes.
I want to go.
So my results, I am such a hypochondriac. So that's kind of why I did it. And just overall, very healthy. There was because it brings up things you wouldn't have known about. Like I have a cyst in my sinus, but it doesn't need to be addressed or anything like that. They're surprisingly, liver and lungs looking good. And I was like, that's kind of what I was waiting for. I was waiting for that to light up like a Christmas tree. So in terms of quitting while I'm ahead, I was like, hey, that doesn't mean I'm going to start smoking a pack a day. That's like, okay, I'm getting away with it right now. I do have a benign mass on my liver, which again has nothing to do with drinking. They were like, you were probably born with it. But it's good to know that if you get another scan, it would light up and they would immediately be like, you might have cancer. Whereas now knowing this information and I have all the results in the app, I would just be like, oh, this, like, I know about this.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to be done about it, which was great. And then the only other thing for me was my ovaries, but I have known that I had PCOS and the size of my ovaries, they're enlarged because of that. But my uterus was, is very well shaped, he said, which I thought was great. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, it just made me feel good about it that I'm like, hey, I'm going to put this out of my mind for a few years. And I'm really glad I did it.
Yeah, I was nervous about you because I know you are a hypochondriac. I'm like, is she gonna get these things? And like they tell you, like everyone has like findings, they'll call it, of like things, but they're a lot of the time they're not like life threatening. They're pretty just the things that just you have in your body that you otherwise wouldn't cause harm, but now you know about it. Like the girl that was telling me, she said something about like her tonsils or something that it was that can be the reason why she gets like headaches.
Yeah.
Just something to know. But I was worried that you were going to get all these things and just be like, oh my God, and just like hyper fixate on them. I feel good because I'm like, they said if they found anything that was like of urgency, they'd let you know before.
They'd call you.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, my phone hasn't rang yet. So it's almost been a week. I feel pretty good. But yeah, no, I do become like very intrigued and interested when you do find out about those things going on in your body. Cause like the things that I have known, like I've got this like extra like rib bone. It's called a cervical rib is what I have. It's just like a bone, an extra rib in your like upper neck area that can like just grow. And it's been there since I was a little baby. I was born with it. But anyway, so I'll update you on what my findings are.
Okay.
Winter can be extremely harsh on your skin, and I am absolutely feeling them effects right now. It's cold and windy outside. Plus, you have the added horror of the dry indoor heat. There's just no moisture anywhere. I cannot get wet. That's why I use Osea's Undaria Algae Body Butter. Right now, it's the only thing that can leave my skin unbelievably soft and smooth in these terribly drying times.
Here's a pro tip. Make your shower as fun as possible. It doesn't have to be super serial. Turn on some bangers or maybe your favorite podcast. Just set the vibe. Then slather on a generous layer of Undaria Algae Body Butter on yourself. Really get up in there. Make sure you massage it in. You take a deep breath and savor the uplifting citrus scent. It's like a full body moment. And if we're your favorite podcast, which is obvious, it'll be like we're right there with you, helping you get in the crevasses.
And that's because we are right there with you.
We're right there watching.
Every time you at home smell the body butter, we are here in these seats. Get to experience that feeling of baby angel flowing past you, letting its scent gently linger in a beautiful and natural mix of grapefruit, lime, cypress, and mango mandarin.
It's literally the best smell in the world. Plus, the amount of compliments I get on my skin and aroma when I'm wearing Osea products, pretty incredible. And you know, I love a compliment.
Osea stands for, do you know this? Ocean, sun, environment, and atmosphere. They are the natural elements of wellness. It's a promise that every decision, every product is made with consideration of impacts on our planet and our collective well-being.
And all the products are vegan and cruelty-free and use sustainable packaging. So we're basically saving the world by looking moisturized and hot, which is like amazing.
That's exactly what I want to do. Treat yourself to clean, clinically tested skincare from Osea. And right now we have a special discount just for our listeners. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code disrespectfully at oseamalibu.com.
So eating healthy kind of sucks, especially when it comes to bread. It's so hard to deny a soft, tender, high-carb piece of goodness in a stressful world we live in today. But not anymore. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in that soft, fluffy experience you love, guilt-free.
Yeah, and I love my beige diet with bread. It's
oh my God.
Heavenly. Plus, you can still enjoy all your favorite treats while feeling good about yourself, like a nutritious breakfast wrap, avocado toast, grilled cheese with a cozy soup, or family burger night. Their products are delicious and flavorful, but have ultra low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and are high in fiber. And the texture is, dare I say, better than traditional bread.
I would agree with that. I think you might be right, Katie. Hero Bread is so soft, so tasty. Every time I eat it, I feel like I'm floating on a beautiful, airy little bread cloud.
It's so peaceful and beautiful.
It really is.
Another beautiful thing about Hero Bread is the range of products provided. I'm talking white bread, seeded bread, tortillas, bagels, buns, and even Hawaiian rolls.
Ugh, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. And even more mouth-watering, knowing it's low net carbs, which you would never even know from the taste. You may think delicious bread without the guilt is impossible, but spoiler alert, it's not. With Hero Bread, there are no compromises, just flavor.
And with monthly small batch drops of indulgent favorites like their 2-gram net carb croissant, croissant, plus more surprises coming this year, you're always eating good. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code disrespectfully at checkout. That's disrespectfully at hero.co.
Love. Yeah. I want to know. And I want to hear about Ariana's too, but it's really cool technology. And I will say I went into it with the mindset that you're a hypochondriac, so calm down. Like even about like the cyst or like the mass on my liver or whatever. I stayed very calm throughout the process. And I was like, he's telling me that's because he opened it with saying, FYI, there's nothing alarming on your scan. So we'll go over just a few little things. They did want me to do one blood test based on something about my gallbladder, like this little duct it like empties into. Mine is larger than the average person's, but he basically was like, you also congenital, you were probably born with it, but he was like, they can get enlarged if it's blocked. So he's like, I just want you to get a blood test to see if this enzyme something or other. So that's one piece of homework I have. But old me, I feel like would be like, cyst in my sinus, what's going on?
I like that they give me the option to also, I can share my results with my doctor, which is wonderful. I have like my annual coming up in April. So, if there is anything to address or any blood work to do, we'll just address that on my annual.
And we know how the healthcare system is, but one thing I will say, recently I'm on a new insurance that it's a good insurance, but like the worst plan, but it's still like a better overall insurance. And my old gyno, I loved when I first moved to LA when I had this type of insurance. I've stopped going to her for the last few years because I couldn't. And I think she's under that umbrella now. And she has helped me solve so many problems and with PCOS and whatever. So for my annual this year, I'm going to book with her and bring that. So I was like, good. So she can look at the pictures and like, I'm really happy about it. So
I love it.
Anyway, so that's what we're doing. Speaking of
just being in control of our health and wellness.
Well, speaking of health and hotness. Oh God. Well, because we need to talk about Medieval Times, which I forgot to put on. How could we forget to talk about it?
Oh my God.
Okay. So the other day we went to Medieval Times, my first time going. We will get into it. But that morning, shout out to Dr. Dugar, who I love, my nose surgeon. I got PRP injections in my under eyes and laugh lines, and we will discuss this in more detail when he's on. PRP, it comes from your blood. They spin out the plasma somehow, and then it's just your plasma that basically is supposed to help with collagen boosting and like dark circles and whatever, and it's better than filler. It's from your own body, so it absorbs. But you look swollen, like you were stung by a bee. So I got it that Wednesday morning. I had that Oscars event Friday night, and he almost wouldn't do it because he was like, swelling can be a problem. But I'm like, no, you're so gentle. I know it's going to work out for me. I'll look fine by Friday. Flash forward to Wednesday night when we are going to Medieval Times.
You didn't look that bad.
Oh, there's a photo of me like smiling in Ariana's video, and you can see it when I smile. Like it was just so.
Yeah, you just look like you like didn't sleep. Like you just looked like tired or something. I don't know what to say.
A little scary. But anyway, shout out to PRP. I can't wait to see how it settles. I feel like I notice a difference in my under eyes more than my laugh lines, but that he said different people have varying effects, but I'm glad I did it and excited to see how it goes.
Well, Medieval Times.
If
you haven't been, okay. There's one thing I was laughing about, just I'm like, imagine like someone coming up with this idea and they like say to their friend, they're like, all right, so hear me out.
This was someone's hear me out in the 80s.
No, truly. I mean, it's been around for so long. It's been in so many like movie, Cable Guy, Garden State. Yeah. I've been once before for a birthday, like 8 years ago.
Your birthday?
It was my birthday, yeah.
A birthday? My birthday?
For one of my birthdays. But it's kind of like what you make of it. If you decide to get into it, you'll have a good time with it. If you're just too cool for it above it, you'll probably think it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever been to. Actually, you'll think it's ridiculous both ways. But when you go, you get like a crown assigned to you, which is the section that you're going to sit in, which is also correlated with the night. They got the red and yellow night, the yellow night, the green night, the blue night, the red night, and the black and white night. And then you're served a feast that is to be eaten with your hands entirely. My favorite part though was how they poured us our soup, came and gave us a little piece of bread, garlic bread, and the next thing you know, I was like, "Is that our waiter?" And Raleigh's like, "No," and I was like, "He just gave me a piece of garlic bread. That is for sure him."
They all wear different hats, different night hats, and he was serving us food and then got out on a horse or whatever it was.
No,
he was on foot.
He was just on foot, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know. Maybe someone called in sick that day. Maybe they had the plague, the measles, and they couldn't come. But I had no idea what to expect. It was obviously right up my alley. I loved everything about it, except for the hour and 49 minutes it took to get there because we chose to go on a weeknight, which was very poor planning on our part. We were all so excited to get out of the car. But yeah, like Katie said, you get assigned to your section and we were all in it. We all like wanted to make the most of it and have fun. And they had a hawk flying around. They had
Falcon.
bird falcon, whatever, flying around the audience, and the horses they danced so cool. They were like grapevining and doing different trots, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, the knights come out and toss flowers to the ladies.
I got a flower.
I know, you and Ariana did. I looked at Nick, I was like, he likes blondes.
And I was taking a video and I could see, I knew he was going to throw it to me. So I like took this video and I tried to catch it with my left hand as I'm like getting the video of him, missed it. So he kind of laughed at me, but they make the most direct eye contact, then kiss the flower and send it to you. And I was like, don't go there when you're ovulating because you might. Okay, so we discussed this. How many of the characters do you think get laid after people get absolutely shit-faced there, like the knights? You know, like how many medieval hookups happen?
I don't know.
If you have ever worked at Medieval Times and you know any of this tea,
give us a tea.
Right in immediately. You have Hometown Heroes stories, so already tisk on you for not sending them in, but please send them in. We need to know. But you just know that happens. Like people like us, like it wasn't just people with kids. It was people like, why are we there? Like older women getting flowers thrown at them. Cougars.
Raleigh was riled up for the Green Knight.
Yeah, she was like so nervous too after the show to go up to him. And I was like, it's not Bon Jovi. It's not JBJ.
We made the joke. I'm like, he's a 10, but he's a knight at Medieval Times. But I don't mean that to sound mean. It's no offense to anyone that worked there, but it's just because I kept asking, I'm like, would you date a guy that did this? And I had to Google how much money they made.
How much do they make?
The top ones, I don't know how long you have to work there, what you have to do to get there, but like close to $200,000 a year.
What?
On the higher end of that.
That's like the top 3%. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe the Green Knight because he had a lot of speaking lines and things.
Well, and it is a skill set to be able to joust and to ride horses and I fuck the crowd. Like there's multiple things going on.
I have my legs full when I'm just riding horseback, literally.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of into, I'm really into horse culture right now in general, which is like the Yellowstone of it all. Now I got the Medieval Times nights. Like I just can't escape it and I don't want to.
We took a photo with our yellow knight after the fact. And let me tell you, I cranked FaceApp to its limits to fix the swelling that was happening on my face. And it's still, I look like an AI version of myself, but I don't care. It was such a good time. If you have been and you haven't been in years, if you've never been, please go to Medieval Times.
If you enjoy
it was so fun.
Eating a carcass with your bare hands, go.
That's my one gripe. He's like, no utensils. And I was like, okay, well, the soup, there's this handle, but what else? And you have to eat the whole, and also it was some really generous adjectives when they're describing on the menu what was in front of us on the plate. I'm like,
the baked potato was a potato fry, a French fry
covered in salt. Yeah, I obviously hated it. And then the chicken was, I mean, you don't
the
go
chicken
there.
Was good.
Oh, I don't agree with that. You don't go there for the meal. You go there for the show. It wasn't from. We got Taco Bell on the way home. Actually,
you did.
Yeah, because Ariana could eat everything, but Raleigh, because of gluten, the gluten meal was even worse than the gluten-free meal was even.
You mean
more.
the hummus and
it was
crudité?
Like hummus and a celery, and then some porridge that looked awful. And then Fleur still had a tummy ache the next day, so I still think I was like, yeah, I don't know that Medieval Times is the most cross-contamination centric, like the most, you know what I mean? Like there's a risk that the garlic bread rubbed your celery.
Well, for one thing, they put the same seasoning on everything. Everything is just a shade of red.
It's like it's a rouge. We don't know what it is, but
paprika.
Yeah, we got Taco Bell and then everyone was happy, but it was cool that they were like, now we feast, because there was the king and queen. And so they brought out the mass-produced chicken that we're all going to eat with our hands and look suspiciously copy and paste to everyone at the same time.
My favorite part of the description was like, and can't forget about dessert. The dessert was a pastry puff.
It was an eclair from the dollar store.
And listen, I wouldn't be complaining, but it's $75 a ticket.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Well, I understand it's a show, but like could have kicked it up a notch.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. It's like, and the way the chicken was, it reminds me of McDonald's chicken nuggets, how like some of them are shaped like the boot and there's like the 3 shapes or whatever. So it looked so copy and paste that I was like, where's this chicken from? But overall, a stellar time.
10 out of 10.
It was so fun. Like I wasn't sure if it would be actually fun, and it was. Like I had such a great time.
So you go back.
I would totally go back. And it's kind of like luxurious in the sense that there's only a few locations. It's really like feels like members only. So if you have one like anywhere near you, well, I'm saying there's like 10 in the country.
New Jersey, LA, Toronto.
Okay, well, calling it LA is a stretch. I basically
Buena
went to
Park,
San Diego.
Like Knott's Berry Farm. But I wish I could have come up with an idea like that, you know?
Totally. That's withstood the test of
But
time.
I also want to know about kind of like the ethics too. Like what's the horse situation like? The horses were beautiful.
My overly empathetic ass. Are you kidding? I asked Ariana 5 times. I was like, because she's a horse girl, and we were asking her, I was like, do you think they're okay? Like, do you think that they're nice to them? And because learning about in New York the carriage rides, like how mistreated those horses are, like like SeaWorld.
Well, that's abuse, basically. Yeah.
So I'm like, do you think they're nice to them? And she was like, I hope so. So I'm gonna assume they are until someone tells me otherwise.
One of them had a luxurious parade happening. And
gorgeous.
I loved it.
Equine culture is so much of my TikTok for no reason.
Hobby horsing is a part of my TikTok.
And you spite watch it, but I love the horse talks.
I mean, absolute every bit of offense. If you're into hobby horse, fucking dork. Fucking dork, dude. Sorry. It's not a sport. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's like...
I'm indifferent about it. Do what you want, but you passionately would bully those people. And it's...
Yes.
I love that for you.
Oh, with every bit of me, I would. Because it is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny... I love... There's that one TikTok of the girl like shaking on the ground after a hobby horse. And she's like, you think this isn't a sport? And I'm like, well, you're running. So yeah, that's like... It's like track. Of course you're shaking.
Basically just remove the stick between your legs and you're doing track and field, babes. Like, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're doing hurdles.
Yeah. That's 100% what it is. Oh, also one of the horses did that cool jump. The gasp I gushed. I was screaming at several different points.
I know. I took the best video of you and you're...
Yeah, I was like so shocked. But when the horse like jumped completely off the ground, I was like, cool.
Yeah. I don't know. What do we call this? It like jumped up and like clicked its legs together. You know, like when a like a stripper does her like little like leg thing
like
and
with
she
the
smacks them.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it.
Like that. It clicked its little hooves together and then shot its legs behind itself.
Whoever gets sick of seeing a horse too, you know, it's like, I'll never be too old to drive by a field and not be like, horses.
If you don't say that, you're
dead inside.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I don't know. It was stellar and fabulous people watching.
Oh yeah.
There's a mixed bag, I would say.
I really like the way I'm treated when I'm in there. Because when I'm in there, it's milady.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to start implementing that. It's milady to you.
Damn.
My lord.
I can't remember the last time someone gave me flowers and now I can. It was medieval times and he kissed it.
I was watching this stand up recently. This has nothing to do with that, but it has everything to do with what I just said. She was talking about how she's dating an older man now. And he's like, I can't be called like your boyfriend. I'm like, I'm a grown man, you know? And she's like, I don't know what to call you then. And she's like, well, what do you want to call me? Like, that's weird. He's like, my lady. And she goes, all right. Like, what am I supposed to do? Introduce you to my parents? Like, this is my lord. No, but the best part was she was talking about how he's also a comedian and how she like really, she's like, oh, like when there's girls up front just like laughing too hard. She goes, I stand by the security during his sets just so I can like walk up to them and be like, you're gonna have to come with me. And they're like, but it's my favorite comedian. She goes, yeah, well, that's my lord. Sorry, I think her name is Kelsey Cook.
I feel like the name sounds familiar.
She's really funny. So anyways, check it out.
Okay, this is so random. We need to get into the daddy list or the basement. Some might stick this in the basement, but I'm kind of intrigued by this whole story. This kind of sounds like creepypasta in terms of internet lore, but there's enough people talking about it on TikTok right now that I think it happened. Do you hear about the girl at Ole Miss that slept with her boyfriend's dad?
No.
Okay. So there's a girl that's dating this guy at Ole Miss. Allegedly, she went out they were like at her boyfriend's sister's basketball game and the brother wasn't there yet or something. And the dad and her were going to see the sister and they got drinks after and one thing led to another and they hooked up. And so obviously the people are trolling her on the internet and keep in mind, this is like a 22-year-old kid. And again, like the way that people, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm just like, someone made commentary and basically was like, you know what she needs to do? Graduate, double down, go to LA and hawk 2 of that thing. And I'm like, absolutely. You should. This is my battle cry to you, young lady. If this is true and this has happened, do not let these people try and ruin your life. You need to create a podcast immediately. We need the whole story. And like,
well, how did it come about? Like who told the story to begin with?
How it came out, we just don't know. But allegedly they were caught in like, this is all alleged, but he said to her like, I want to fuck you in my son's bed. Which is obviously dark. Also, this is for me way more on the dad side of things, like in terms of like, this is an older man, so the power imbalance and whatever. It's just kind of like.
Yeah, but maybe she also wanted to fuck his dad in his bed.
But also maybe she wanted to fuck his dad. So
maybe they both have, they match each other's freak.
I'm not saying that it's like a good thing, but I think that if the internet is, it's like Chelsea Handler always says about drugs. Don't let the drugs do you. You do the drugs. So you need to not let TikTok do you. You need to do TikTok in terms of this. If people are trying to ruin your life, I'm just saying, don't think that you don't have any options and you know, it's over. You have a story to tell.
Oh my God. Yeah. Capitalize on that shit.
But that's pretty crazy. And the dad is like,
Is he hot? Wait, do we know what these people look like?
so I've seen photos, so I don't know. It's all alleged, but in the photos, I'm like, yeah, I'd sleep with him, but I you know, it's me. So who knows? But yeah, he's fuckable. But I would say they can break up, right? So she never has to see the boyfriend again. But the dad and son are dad and son for life. So in my eyes, the dad is the one who committed the unforgivable sin. Wouldn't you say?
100%. So is the dad, like, are his parents still married?
That I don't know, which is a whole other aspect of it. I mean, they seem like a white picket fence kind of family, so I don't know. But
wow.
The apparently, again, all alleged, they're trying to stay together. I don't know. This, who knows if it's operator by this point, right? But if hey, hometown heroes out there listening, if you go to Ole Miss or you know the tea and this is real, please let us know. Or if you're the young lady that is in this situation, you know,
let us know.
Just let us know. We have your back here. The coven is welcoming you, and we want to hear the business.
Yeah, and also who's better, the dad or the boyfriend?
We need to know how much they resemble each other.
Yeah. Oh my God, wild. I gotta get into this. I'm gonna dig into that.
Go look it up. I was trying to jump around because I was just hearing fragments of it.
God.
But that's what I've gathered so far. So Allison, you did hear about this though. Do you believe it happened?
Anything's possible.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's true. All right, should we go to the basement then?
Let's go to the basement. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Ugh. Okay, I have 3 in the basement this week. Fast food places that rush you in terms of this. When you go to the ordering thing, and I started my order with, "Hi, can I have a Baja Blast Zero?" And they go, "Okay, is that all?" Who the fuck? I think that there's occasionally people going through the drive-thru seeking a beverage and nothing else. No, can I have a beanie cheesy burrito? Okay, is that all? No, of course it's not. What are you talking about? So I understand that there's a level of service you can expect. It's not a Michelin star restaurant, but the way that they're so quick to be like, is it all? And I'm like, I don't know, the context clues. Most of your patrons, I'm guessing, are not just ordering one light item and moving on. So I just think it's such a weird question to ask
This is Taco Bell, sir.
After you talk about a pop. And it's happened to me at multiple McDonald's the other day too. I don't know.
Well, also some people don't know what they want right when they get up to the damn thing, and also they'll do this. I don't know if you said hold on a minute or you said how can I help you, because you didn't. I didn't catch any of that. Can you repeat yourself? And then they're like hello, and you're like hi, yes, I'm here. I'm not ready yet.
Also, are you the pilot on my plane? Because it's I can hear you about as clear as that. So it's like the microphone is in their mouth. The second thing in my basement is how much your ears grow.
Oh my God.
I saw a photo of Robert De Niro from the side, comparing him in the 70s to now, and his ear now could eat 3 of his ears back then. And I know that they do continue to grow and it's just part of life, but it just kind of was unsettling for me to see the difference.
I feel like my ears have grown.
I do too.
Grown, like, especially when I see from the side and I see like how loby I am. I got lobes on lobes.
Yeah.
I'm scared from my future because your nose and your ears and your feet grow, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you get shorter. What is the science on that?
I don't know, but anywho, it's not that deep, but it was uncanny valley to me. Like, just kind of made me feel not right seeing his ears. And I was like, okay. And then Adrien Brody, for all the reasons we discussed before. Just, ugh.
Yuck.
Who's in your basement?
Mine is specific, but yet all encompassing in this way. Kind of similar to your first one. Really aggressive, pushy salespeople. Specifically, Nick and I were at the mall and we went into Bloomingdale's to use the bathroom, and I was like, I want to go peruse in their like fragrance department. I've been introducing him to some like fragrances. I really love them. I was like, oh, I'll give you a little tour and we can sniff some things. I understand that there was also like nobody in there, and there was like 25 salespeople behind these counters, but like I like literally walked up and I smelled it. She goes, hi, would you like to try anything? And I was like, no, I'm okay. And she goes, oh, that. And then starts spritzing this thing and shoving it in my face. And I was like, I'm good, thank you. And then I went to the next one immediately like, hi, can I show you something? Would you like to try something? And I'm just like, I just want to sniff. Like, how about I let you know? But they watched us like immediately even go to another one when the last one did that. And why they all kept doing that was they're seeing what's happening. It's just like, you do understand that I don't want to be spoken to right now. I don't like when salespeople bug you. I also don't like when you can't find a salesperson, but this was like next level. Like, it puts such a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm like, I'll never buy a perfume from here.
No, it's one of the other, they don't exist, or they are so far up your asshole that you don't know
it's such basement behavior when somebody's like hasn't signaled that they have a question, are looking for anything, like barely even walked up, and immediately you're trying to like oh, and this one, but have you smelled that? But have you smelled this one? It's like, no, because I don't want to.
Maybe it's our shoplifting PTSD also though, because I'm like, I'm not look at my purse. I don't take anything because you can tell sometimes when they're like, you know, that's part of the thing with loss prevention. I know that person was an actual salesperson, but I'm like, just give me room to breathe, please.
Well, yeah, dude, I just walked. I don't know. It was just crazy. And then I was I wasn't being rude, but I was being like kind of just short. And I'd be like, nope, thank you. And then walked away.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to smell anything because I just didn't want to deal with like everything I touched, you trying to like spray it all over me or like show me something else you think I might like. It's just like, I clearly knew what I was doing there. And I don't know.
Right.
Basement.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Is that it? Today?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I'm going to save some for later.
Okay, perfect. All right, well.
That'll do her.
That'll do, big. That'll do. If you're not following us on social media, that's Disrespectfully Pod. TikTok and Instagram. And Kay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.